Good morning. I'm Lisa Braun, Executive Director of Ohio City Power, and I'm here this morning at City Hall with Councilman Joe Cimperman of Ward 3 to discuss a potential collaboration between Ohio City Power and the City of Cleveland. Ohio City Power is a nonprofit operating out of St. Paul's Community Church on West 45th and Franklin Boulevard. Ohio City Power is two-part. One part is providing recreational activities for the homeless and jobless, and also the workforce development segment, which brings various degrees of labor to the homeless, whether that be in the form of piecemeal work or entering a job placement program, which could eventually land them a job at the Cleveland Clinic. So, I'm here this morning because Ohio City Power applied for a grant through Neighborhood Connections in 2010, and Councilman Cimperman was gracious enough to attach a letter of recommendation. Now, although we did not receive the grant at that first cycle, we did receive it the second cycle in August. And I'm just here today to thank him for that continued support, and it helps secure, I'm sure, Ohio City Power's resources to go out and do good work. And Ohio City Power focuses in the area of Ohio City, and we like to stay focused in the small areas. St. Paul's, their outreach hours are Tuesday through Friday, 9 to 12, where the public can come in and receive assistance through St. Paul's outreach office. And this is where I started interacting with the homeless and jobless, and sat down and heard their stories and heard their needs. And what's most thrilling about St. Paul's is the willingness that these folks have, and they really want to work. They're just at a segment or a part in their life where they're in limbo, and we think some of the organizations and agencies are so large, so I love being a part of being a connector between large organizations like the City of Cleveland and bringing it down to Ohio City Power. And when I talk about that human interaction with the homeless down there, I'd like to give one example. A local agency provided us with some work, a simple mailing job, which we'd be adhering labels to postcards. And I pay the workers minimum wage, which is $7.70, and one of the gentlemen who is mentally challenged was very excited for the opportunity to work. I mean, and when I say excited, you'd have thought I brought a job, you know, a very high level job. Well, he walked 2.5 hours to come and put labels on booklets. And he walked home 2.5 hours, and he refused a ride. This is an extreme case, but what is most satisfying about my interactions with the folks is this love and passion just to be a part of society at whatever level that is. If it's putting stickers on postcards, that's what this gentleman liked. Another homeless woman came in to provide the same services, and she is homeless and mentally disturbed, and yet she came in dressed in office attire as though, again, she was going to be heading up a big committee, board of directors meeting. So it's very touching. The need is down in Ohio City. I love focusing on just that area. And I hope that in the future, the councilman and I can collaborate on a project and bring more pride and self-confidence to these people who are basically wandering the streets. It's a joy, and I want to thank Councilman again for allowing us to come down and share this important information with the city. It really needs to be known, and there's quite a need. So I'm going to turn the camera over to Councilman Cimperman. He's going to talk a little bit about himself and maybe what we can do in the future.
Great. Well, on behalf of the City of Cleveland and the neighborhood in Ohio City, we're just so thrilled at what St. Paul's is doing. It's been a church in the community for a long time and has provided a place for people to go and get a cup of coffee, for people to worship on Sunday. One of my very dear friends is Faith Noble,
Yes.
and her husband Chris Checkett, who are some of my oldest friends in Cleveland, and I know that they love the work that goes on at St. Paul's, and so do their children. I live on West 45th Street, so I know St. Paul's very well because I either walk or drive past it a half a dozen times a day, and it's just always great to see so many different people getting help. And what's interesting, and my daughter, who's almost 4, said to me the other day, "Daddy, why are there always so many different people?" And I said, "Because sometimes people come and get help, and then they don't need it anymore. Sometimes they get help, and then they can move on and do whatever else they need to do." So I just think that the work that goes on there, from the job training to the human interaction to just being there to listen to people, is pretty remarkable.
Thank you again, for your time and helping us get the word out, and hopefully we can do something in the future. You had a couple of ideas. Did you want to share those now, or any thoughts on what you thought we could do together?
The city of Cleveland is the strongest city in the United States for urban agriculture. And we have more gardens and farms and activity in the city of Cleveland than anywhere else. A lot of people don't know that. A couple years ago, they actually ranked us. This was 3 or 4 years ago, and we were number 2. We've become the number 1 city now. A lot of it has to do with the fact that so many people who live in Cleveland understand the farming, whether they were African American and their families migrated from the South, or they're Eastern European, but you go to any block club and people will talk to you about their gardens. So one of the things where I think we could use some help, especially from Ohio City Power, is how do we turn more of our vacant land into productive land? And you've got the skills, you've got the people, and then here's the beauty of it. We all have to eat. We should all eat healthier. So we're achieving all these different goals with food justice, social justice, racial justice, economic justice, by literally giving people the opportunity to grow food, and Cleveland could literally become a self-sustaining city. There's no reason we can't be a 3.5 season city. With all the land we have, with the technology, with hoop houses, with the attention to solar and wind power. So that's one of the things I'm looking forward to working with you on.
Excellent. Yeah, I want to talk to you more about it.
Let's go.
Okay.
Ohio City Power.
Hey, thanks,
That's right.
Joe.
Thank you.